Another episode, and we have Josh. How long he's going to last for, we have no idea because the Wi-Fi is worse than Patrick's, which is not good. But we're going to give it a go. Josh, how's your day been? How are you, mate?
Hi guys, thanks for having me on. My day's been wonderful. The sun is shining. I trained legs today, which you might not believe was so fucking hard, men's physique. But yeah, the vibes are vibing, and I feel very grateful to be sat talking to you handsome chaps this evening.
Trying, bro. Trying. Have you?
It's funny that you mentioned about legs because there's a question about that. So we're gonna. I'm glad you brought it up.
Mate, you might have to try out there, Patrick. Just get stuck straight into it.
Yeah, go on, mate.
It's meant to be.
Right, we are gonna go through the questions just in case we lose him halfway through. So, first question we've got for you is this is from someone from Australia. He just recently turned pro last season, and he wants to know what WNBF men's physique actually. He wants to know what's the difference like in terms of level from the amateur level to the pro level. Is it a big gap?
Look, I think country to country does depend. Like your top level amateurs in the UK could all go and place top 5 of the world. Like good natural bodybuilders are good natural bodybuilders. I would say like in Australia, from what I've seen, the standard in Australia is like mid, and then it jumps up massively when you enter the pro ranks. So yeah, for that chap, it's a big jump up. I'm saying this without seeing his physique, but I've coached a lot of people in Australia. I know what the standard of natural bodybuilding is like in Australia. It's getting better, but it's not quite the levels of like the European guys at the minute. It's probably more comparable to like the Americans.
Right.
So yeah, big jump up.
Many Australians at the Worlds. Is that like a common thing to see? Or would you say just a handful?
Yeah, you get a handful. There's a few that are like, oh God, I'm awful with remembering people's names. There's a few that are really good. I want to say Eric Helms, but I think he's New Zealand, isn't he? Is he New Zealand?
It might be a Kiwi, yeah.
Yeah, Kiwi, yeah.
Yeah, he gets skinned. I can't think of any Australians that I've competed against that have placed like top 5 at the world, but there's definitely a team there. Whether they're like on the levels of like the Spanish, the Germans, Brits, that kind of vibe, I don't think so.
What is the biggest natural fed in Australia? Because I remember talking to Sean about this recently, who's obviously in New Zealand, and I think he mentioned a couple of other ones. So I think some of their top guys actually might not dabble in the WNBF as much. So
yeah, so in Australia, the biggest one's called the ICN. So ICN are like huge in like India and then Australia as well. So yeah, if you look at like the top guys in the ICN, they're decent, but they just don't compete with the WNBF for some reason. I think they've still like Australia's still a little bit behind. So like in the UK, like we don't really give a shit. We'll compete with everyone, won't we, Patrick?
Exactly, mate. We do.
Yeah.
We do whatever we want, mate.
They're very much like, I'm an ICN boy, I'll compete with the ICN, and then you've got like I think OCB, one called ANB, and then more recently the WNBF have like relaunched there.
Yeah. Right. On that, Josh, have you ever been that side of the world?
Yeah. I lived in Australia for a year.
Really?
Yeah, oh mate, my story's crazy. I lived in Sydney for a year. I used to work for Nike, the clothing company.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to work for them, and pretty cool job, pretty good time. Did that for about 9 months, and then you are.
What age was that at?
I went out when I was 20. Did 9 months working for Nike, and then I went and got a job on a chicken farm because I wanted to extend my visa and not to go do like farm work or whatever. So I literally did like 110 days working on a chicken farm collecting chicken eggs for genuinely like 15 hours a day.
Yeah, they've actually got rid of that now, haven't they? For the UK people, you don't have to do the like the farm work or whatever they call it.
I'm joking, mate. It was the best thing that I've ever done.
Yeah, you know, some people say
I got paid fucking loads. I got paid like, yeah. After tax, it was like £1,000 a week.
Mate, honestly, the lifestyle out there is good, man. What made you want to come home, like for sure? And would you ever keep your eyes open on something like that in the future?
So I came home because I needed to finish my studying, and then in that year, my PT took off. So I was like, I was enjoying work that much at home. I was like, I don't really need to go back to Australia. Like that search for purpose was already found.
Yeah.
And then it was like 12 months after that, I did my first show. In fact, yeah, it was 12 months after I came home from Australia, I competed for the first time. And then the rest is kind of, you know, it's still kind of falling into place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fitness culture out in Australia is massive, isn't it? So, you know, there's definitely a big market there as well.
It's different to the UK.
Yeah. What would you say it was different, more commercial?
There's a lot of like, well, gyms aren't as good. So I think because in the summer it gets so hot, like you don't really have many hardcore bodybuilding gyms. Like they're popping up more and more. But when I was there, it was like everything was commercial. I'd say you've got like a big like Pilates brigade. Loads of people that like do run clubs and all that kind of stuff. So it's almost like London, but in a country.
Yeah.
I'm disrespectful, man. What did London teach you, bro?
Mate, I love London, but there's a lot of run clubs.
Oh,
have you heard of World Gym, Josh?
Yeah. That's like they're popping up all over the East Coast. They're very good.
Yeah, one of my friends is actually the area manager of them, and he opened one in Melbourne that's been going for about a year, and I know they've got some goals of opening some more, so they're trying to like push that little bit more hardcore scene out. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah. I've got a few boys that train out of Gold's Gym in Australia.
You got
very good gym, but you what, mate?
Can we just talk about the fact that Josh had like a whole football squad at the WNBF amateur show? Like, literally had a whole team out there. How do you manage to control, like, keep that many people peaking? Like, it must be crazy work.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, do you know what? If it was like seasoned competitors, it's quite easy to peak them. But like with first timers, it's every step's almost into the unknown. Obviously, like an ideal scenario, you'd do like a trial peak week, but anyone that's peaked someone multiple times, every peak week's different. So with first timer and like, you know, doing a novice show, it's not the most experienced competitors in the world. So yeah, there is an element of like stress with it, but you know, like every morning that I was waking up for like, you know, the 2 weeks running up to that show, having like 10, or I think for me personally, it was like nine daily check-ins to do. It was so fucking exciting.
Yeah, that's wicked, man.
Every day I was getting up, I was like, God damn, my phone's like waking up and having like 80 messages. I was like, let's go, baby. This is what I've done this for.
Yeah.
It was sick. But yeah, and the fact that like everyone rocked up and like looked as good as they could have done as well, like then that's great. If everyone came in and looked shit, then you know you'd rather have one person than fucking 10. But yeah, everyone looked fucking
very
good.
Yeah, I think with that, like with what you're saying as well, like the kind of mindset you have, I think that probably helps a lot of your guys as first timers. Like you're very just positive. Like at the end of the day, as a first timer or a novice, it's like you should be doing this for fun, right? I know it's easy to say that, but when you can have that kind of coaching mindset as well, you all go out there as a team, you know, do your best, have a laugh. You know, it probably makes them feel good. So
yeah,
I can see that.
Look, I think that mindset needs to be adopted whether you're a first timer or someone that's you know competed as a pro 100 times. Like not many of us. I don't know any natural that get paid a great amount from being a competitive bodybuilder. Yeah, all right, there's money to be made in the fitness industry, but none of it's from stepping on stage. So you've got to enjoy it. Like, and I think rather tragically over the last few years, that enjoyment has kind of like, it's been zapped out of the game a little bit. You know, people pushing things to the extreme, like glorifying this hardcore mindset, when in reality, no one gets paid for this. You don't get bonus points for, you know, walking around like a miserable cunt. Like, we're all here to enjoy it. So as a coach, if I can try and let my clients enjoy it a little bit more, then great, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's really refreshing to hear, because I think a lot of people are almost scared of the entry because they feel like they have to be this like bodybuilding monk, and the reality is, you know, if, like natural bodybuilding, no one actually cares like more than you. Like you go win an overall, you go win pro, you know, the next day everyone goes back to work. Like nothing actually changes. That doesn't mean don't give it everything. Like, ain't that deep. Like if you can't enjoy it even a little bit, then what the fuck are you actually doing, right?
Mate, I remember when I won the Worlds in 2023, right? It was the highest high that I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
4 or 5 days later, I went back to Ultraflex, put my finger on the thing, my membership needed to be renewed. And it was like the most beautiful way of coming back down. Like, no matter what, we're all the same. No matter what you've achieved or what you've done, you're still going to pay a fucking membership at the gym. And no one's going to acknowledge the fact that you've just done something that you think is quite cool. Like, yeah, it's...
That's crazy. That's so good. That's so good. That if that doesn't summarize it, then I don't know what will. And I suppose you both have kind of experienced that, like Patrick, with you know, winning like your last season was a pretty ridiculous, really, weren't it? But you know, it doesn't get much better than that. But you know, it's that's the reality of it.
It generally doesn't. Yeah, I don't remember going to work and everyone's like, mate, you did it fucking cool. It's like you won worlds and all that stuff. And then that was it. It was just back to normal. Okay, cool. Get on the truck, mate. You go put this fire out. That was literally it. It was just like back to normality. Nothing changed. And I think some people put so much emphasis on like, oh, they think they'll win this and that many shows. All of a sudden they're going to be, their life is going to transform into this incredible world of like living. It's not like that. It's just, you just get back to reality and just crack on with it, really.
Yeah. With that in mind, Josh, obviously you've kind of reached the peak early on, and I know you had just had your competitive season last year. Like, what gets you fired up, like in natural bodybuilding? Like, what is there that, you know, makes you think, you know, like I still want to move forward with this? This is still left to do. Is there anything, or is it just for the love and enjoyment of it?
I think it is getting to the point where it is just for like the love of the game. When I first got into natural bodybuilding specifically, I wanted to win a British title and I wanted WMBF Pro status. Like they were the only two goals. I knew one guy at the time that held a WMBF Pro card, a guy called Levi Walker, and I wanted to be another guy that did. Right. Once I achieved that, everything else that came after was like truly a bonus. And I didn't like, even when, you know, I went over to Texas and competed at a show called Summer Shredding, which is phenomenal. I had no expectations going into that. I just wanted to go and just go and enjoy myself and like meet as many people as possible in this weird world that we're in. And then it was like I went and did well in that. There were like, I think in men's physique, there were over 200 people and I placed third. And it was like, wow, this is sick. But I still didn't like get carried away and thinking like, oh, I need to go and chase more. It was just like, just keep stepping on stages that you want to step on and enjoy. So then it was like, right, well, I've done the Worlds before, competed in Vegas, which was amazing. It's in Seattle in, 2023. I was like, fuck it. Seattle seems like a cool place to go. It'll be a nice way to round off like a decent competitive season. I'll just go and see how I can do. And I went and won, and it was like, again, it was just like, it was a beautiful moment, but it weren't like, oh my God, what's next? It was just embracing that moment and being present in it.
Yeah.
I think so many people, they set the goal as like this crazy fucking thing, and then as soon as they get closer to it, they start moving the goal further and further away. It's like, no, whatever lit the fire initially, that should be enough to keep you going for as long as possible. So like, yeah, at the minute, I love training, I love coaching, and competing's like the thing that I do I'm a competitive guy. It's the thing that I do to scratch my competitive itch. It's not necessarily like a thing now that I do to tick off goals. I have genuinely already ticked them off. I'd love to be an IFBB pro. I'd love to win the MBW. but they're not things that like if I don't achieve, I'm gonna, hate myself or like regret doing things that I've done. It would just be like, oh well, that didn't happen. But the biggest things that I did want to achieve, I've already done.
Do you think you mentioned about how much you love coaching? Do you think an aspect of that is now that like you can gain that fulfillment you had of winning the things yourself through other people, like helping other people get their competitive goals? You almost hit your itch a little bit of what you struggle to do now because you kind of hit the pinnacle of what you wanted. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think, right, with me personally, I think and I'm sure like quite a lot of people in bodybuilding are the same. I was like written off quite early when I was a kid. Like I weren't the smartest person in the world. I've got older siblings that were incredibly smart, and it was just like, oh yeah, Josh will be fine. He's, he'll go and become a plumber or something. And bodybuilding kind of like allowed me to be in an environment that I could like outdo my own expectations of myself. So like in coaching, I'm not necessarily like wanting people to go and win X, Y, and Z. I just want them to outdo their own expectations of themselves. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, 100%. I
So
think
if
you're
if I can do that for someone, or if I can be part of that, that's it. That's job done.
yeah. Patrick, we are having a
Yeah.
disaster. Deej is late. Josh's Wi-Fi is wank. Your Wi-Fi is even worse. I'm the only one cruising along here. Give myself a bit of credit. Can you leave and rejoin, Patrick? Apparently, your thing has stopped working. So
Is your
leave.
recording has stopped, which I don't understand
Yes,
why.
leave and rejoin.
So just leave and join again, yeah?
Yeah, just leave and then rejoin with the same link.
Okay. All right,
Is
cool.
is mine really bad?
No, you know what? It hasn't stopped recording. It is like crackly, but when it goes to upload, it should upload clean. So I'm not stressed. It's all right. I'm only joking. But yeah, with another thing you said, to be fair, that I think is really cool, which has definitely got my mindset on the next time I compete. It's almost like trying to combine two things I enjoy, which is bodybuilding and then particularly travel. Like, I think traveling is like the best thing you can do, and I'm like, I want to go to other countries and compete just because it's like it gives you a reason to, right? Like you're like, right, I can see these places whilst doing it. So yeah, I've definitely got my mind on trying some of that next time.
I think it's worthwhile. Um, I've seen both sides of it. Like I've competed in America 3 times and loved it each time. I've competed in Germany, Spain, France. If you don't get the result that like you're hoping for, or like I don't know, you don't get this stage experience that you're hoping for, it feels like it's a long way to go for a slightly bitter
Yeah,
moment. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
I absolutely know what you
I
mean.
think if you could go into it purely with like, right, I'm doing this because I want to step on a stage overseas and like, scratch that itch, great.
Mm,
I think if
yeah.
you're competing overseas, like with the idea of, right, I'm going to go here to win a pro card or whatever,
Mm,
if you don't take that, honestly, like being far away from home feels like you're even further, honestly.
yeah. Yeah, I do get that, and I could also imagine that you almost have that mindset of you like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I making the most out of this time at the same time? But I think it's probably just that middle ground of everything in life. It's like you always want what you don't have to some degree, and like it's just yeah, like doing it for the right reasons, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Right, well, Patrick, should we get stuck into these questions properly, mate? I think Deej is
Yes, let's
coming
do
up.
it. Let's do it. Right. Next question is, how do you stay motivated when progression stalls?
Look, it all depends on what type of progress that is. I don't think in bodybuilding there should ever really be like a crazy, I don't know, plateau. Like you should always be able to change things to be able to create a new response. If progression's stalling and you're in a deficit, then you've got to kind of like have that understanding of like, look, I'm not going to make any kind of like, strength progressions whilst I'm like running at below 10% body fat. Yeah, just being, realistic and being smart at the same time.
I agree. I think also, it's, like you said, like progression in that aspect. Like you can't just base it off your lifting. For example, you can't just be like, oh, cause I can't lift the same weight I was lifting 2 weeks ago. All of a sudden, it's gone. There are other factors that can always play into it, where it might not just be just your training that has stalled that you can improve on. You can improve on other stuff like your sleep, nutrition, all of that stuff plays into it. So I think if you just kind of base it off your training, then it doesn't make it fun at all. So it makes, I do agree, that's a big fraud of area in natural bodybuilding can really use to progress rather than just focusing on your training.
Yeah.
We got the next one for you as well from Australia. What would be your top 3 optimal exercises for men's physique to grow back?
Fucking hell. What a question.
Side delts, bro.
We've got some questions for you, mate.
Mate, all delts. Just get them delts absolutely ginormous, and your placings will improve. I think when it comes to like programming for men's physique competitors, I do it for a few of my bodybuilders that have like quite weak upper bodies, but I do like a session that I call top line. So it's basically like chest delts and arms. And I do that instead of like doing like a second leg day or another straight up push. It'd just be like chest delts and arms, a little bit of a top up on that. Again, just doing everything that you can to like improve that big men's physique V taper. Hello there, Donald.
Hi. Sorry.
Should be.
It's one of those things when you're in a rush.
Donald, Wi-Fi's been so good.
We've got a challenger for Patrick's Wi-Fi. We're gonna find out who's better.
If he tried to boot me off, I'm sure like the bit that we've recorded will I'm sure it'll upload.
Yeah, we've actually managed to, haven't we?
Right.
Right, well, let's keep.
I still can't see these faces though for some reason on my side. Right, cool. Yes, let's crack on with the next question then. Do legs really matter for men's physique?
Yes. It's all part of creating a big V taper. And when you're in your front shot, you need to have a little bit of an X frame. So if you can add a few pounds of tissue to your quads to make your waist look smaller, that's only going to make you a better men's physique competitor. Equally, like when I won the Worlds, I got complimented on like the size of my calves in comparison to everyone else. So, not having a clear weak area is obviously going to help you when like the shows are coming down to such fine margins now. So yeah, fucking hell, don't neglect leg training.
Yeah. I'd also say as well that like the board shorts are starting to get a bit shorter, aren't they? Some of that leg's starting to come out. So maybe a fair few years ago you would have got away with it a bit more, but now, I know from what I've heard it is something that they are, if you're really close and one guy's clearly got weaker legs, then it definitely could go against you, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Swiftly move on to the next question. How do you respond when a placement doesn't go away at a show?
Say that again, bro.
How do you respond when placement doesn't go your way at a show?
Kick off, complain, retire from bodybuilding, fucking hell, the list again. Nah, look, placings, I probably know more than anyone. Like, I've had such a fucking wide range of placings in my time competing. Last year I placed 6th at a British finals that I was planning on winning. Placings, it's just feedback you need to improve. I think one thing that's a little bit different with men's physique, that's different to like bodybuilding. It is very, very, very subjective. Like bodybuilding, it's almost quite clear cut on like who is the best bodybuilder, right? Who's the biggest, who's the leanest, who's got the best balance of the two. Straightforward. Men's physique, because it's like it's almost like a made up class. That's criteria changes literally year on year. you could look the exact same for 5 years in a row and win 3 world titles in 3 of the years, and then come fucking last in regional shows the other 2. Like it can change drastically every 12 months. But like mindset wise, just try not to like let it affect you too much. It's all feedback at the end of the day. You've stepped on stage to see where you stand in comparison to other people. You can't go letting it affect you too much if you don't, get a positive result. Because at the end of the day, you've put yourself on there in the first place, and you don't have any control over anyone else that's turned up. So try not to keep it. And then equally, like, just use it as motivation to get better.
Yeah. What I'd add to that as well is that like sometimes each federation will have their own maybe go-to pick. Like typically from what I've seen, PCA love condition, and then some like the WNBF. Typically, I've seen them go for more like bubbly guys. So sometimes just being aware that bodybuilding is subjective, and understanding that they can just flip, can't they? Like I've seen people win at one show and then lose in the other to someone. So you just got to kind of keep turning up and realizing that that's the name of the game, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Next one on here. Any tips to manage stress when it comes to show day?
Give up.
What is your Wi-Fi, mate?
Mate, up for right. Any tips on how to manage stress during show day?
Why are you stressed on a show day? What is causing you
Exactly.
on a show day? It's no straightforward day of your entire prep. All the work's done. You've eaten 99% of the food that you're going to eat on a peak week. I'd be looking at like what is causing that stress, and like can you fucking manage it as good as you can. I advise my clients, it's your first show, try to have as little people there as possible to watch you. Not necessarily like the pressure of people in the crowd, but like the managing logistics of people being where they need to be at certain times. Like I've done shows where it's just me, and it's been so straightforward that like literally I can just sit in a corner all day and not worry. And I've done shows where I've got like my friends and family there, and I'm constantly thinking like, oh, are they bored? Are they in the right spot? Like, do they know what's going on? Yada yada yada. So just like do as much as you can to like reduce the stress or pressure on you as possible. But obviously, like, really ask yourself what is causing the stress. If it's like not knowing how the show works, then really you should have done your research before it's the show. But yeah, that is one thing. Like, have either of you or any of you guys experienced any kind of like show day stress?
Yeah, like, I think that is the perfect way of putting it, because I literally ruined my first show because of stress. And it can be very easy to just like say that, but actually implying it is hard. But when you actually sit back, that is the truth. Like, what are you actually stressed about? Like, the only time you should be stressed really, which is unfortunate, is if you haven't done what you need to do, and unfortunately then it is too late. But you are completely right. If you've done what you need to do, what is there to actually stress about? And it sounds stupid and simple, but it's actually facts, right? So I think that's a really, really good thing for people to take away, to be honest.
I think the only thing that I found kind of caused me stress on a show day is when something unexpected happens, or something doesn't quite get communicated properly. So for example, I've ended up having to go like backstage because I've missed the call for like getting pumped up, and I'm like 10 minutes that people have already been pumping up for 10 minutes, and I'm dashing backstage trying to get a pump, trying to get like my pre-workout and stuff in. But that was all just caused from me not paying 100% attention. Like, that was on me, and that's something that you can control. So ultimately, like, once you're backstage, or making sure that you're in the right place at the right time, so that you're there to listen to the staff, because they are going to try and get you into the right place at the right time, and they'll give you plenty of notice, but you need to make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right. This one there is the best way to increase natural testosterone. I don't think we can really answer this question, but they basically know the best way to increase natural testosterone if you're supplemented after prep.
Sleep, bro.
Yeah, sleep, food quality. You know,
it's not
try
much.
Make sure that
you're doing.
You are.
Just jog yourself.
All the stuff you should already be doing. There's no.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, look, testosterone is when you're doing natural prep, but if you prep properly, it should only happen like the last few weeks. So yeah, it's one of those. Just got to accept it. Don't worry about it too much.
If it is chronically low, you're probably not cut out for natural bodybuilding, like genetically. If you're needing to do TRT at 27, you're probably not going to be up there as a high level natural bodybuilder. But it's one of those things that you also probably need to give it some time and maybe not just get your blood work done right after prep. So what's your blood work look like when you're mid off season? What's the blood work like when you have just done like a mini cut or something like that? And then, like the guy said, just making sure that you're doing everything you need to do, which you should be doing if you're a good bodybuilder anyway. So getting enough sleep, looking after your nutrition, keeping your stress low. But again, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I've seen like TRT just being advertised and shoved down people's throats at the moment. But I'm guessing a lot of low testosterone is probably caused by people's lifestyles. Like if they just lived a healthier lifestyle, their test would probably come back up to normal levels. But again, people are looking for quick fixes. And it's, oh, I've got low testosterone. Okay, the doctor's now prescribing me steroids, so that means it's fine. But if you actually just sorted out your lifestyle, your test might actually come back to a normal level.
Yeah, realistically, if you're young and you're doing all the right things for an extended period of time, you're not going to have low tests. And if you do, that's when obviously you do have an actual issue. And then you need to have the conversation of asking, is competitive natural bodybuilding the right thing for me? Like, like you'd have the conversation, is but professional basketball the right thing for you if you're, 5'2"?
That's a very good analogy.
Got one more from my side, and I'm done with my questions, which is they want to know how would the natural cat. I mean, like, let's say someone like Titan, for example, if that Titan also goes on Olympia, which 100% he would one day, hopefully this year, like next year anyway. Do you think him going to Olympia will make a huge change to natural bodybuilding? Would it bring more awareness to natural bodybuilding across the world?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. There's been quite a lot of like things happen within natural bodybuilding that kind of go, is that going to be the thing that like makes it blow up? Or might it do the opposite where people see Toyten and they're like, oh my God, I could never be like that. I'm just going to go in. Like, it would take... I actually have no idea what it'll take to make natural bodybuilding bigger than untested. I just think it's growing at such a steady rate at the minute. Like, do we want it to like blow up? I don't think it's realistic. I don't know.
I don't think natural bodybuilding can ever be bigger than assisted. Cause it'd be the same as like, you go to watch Formula One, the fastest cars in the world. You don't go to watch cars that do 70 miles per hour. Like you go to see the freak shows. You go to see people push the limit. And that's just the reality in life, I think.
Mm.
And also, if it did kind of go viral and like blow up, like, do you think that would be good for the sport, or is it better? Kind of, I don't know about you, Josh, but I've been doing this for I've been involved in natural bodybuilding for 6-7 years. Like, how it looks now compared to how it looked when I first started is completely different. It has grown massively over the past 5 or 6 years, and it's one of those things like could it be a double-edged sword if something made it blow up and suddenly had all these people coming in? Would that make it better, or would it continuing to kind of grow at the rate it's growing? Because ultimately, would it break what natural bodybuilding is?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's nice. It's growing so naturally and organically. Like it's exactly what natural bodybuilding is. Oh, Patrick's gone.
The protocol.
Yeah, whereas if it like blew up, it'd be like natural bodybuilding has had an enhancement. You know, we don't want that. We don't want that. We want to stay natural. We want to stay nice and organic. But yeah, you're right. Like, how it's changed. I did my first show in 2019. I didn't know about it in 2019. I remember finding Kez, shout out Kez Ball, on Instagram and seeing that he was doing a tested show, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? Never heard of this before." I thought everyone just took steroids. So that was like my weird first introduction to natural bodybuilding, seeing Kez on Instagram. And the shows then, they look nothing like how they look now. You know, the production quality is crazy. Obviously, like, you know, technology's advanced, but you know, the venues were really shit. Like really shit. In fact, I think everything was still done at the Ben Hall and some fucking shit all in a place called, is it Bedford? Bedford International or something like that. Absolutely diabolical. Whereas now, like, we've actually got legit venues and, you know, big federations doing natural bodybuilding shows. Like, I know NPC gets some grief for, you know, doing natural shows and like what their understanding of natural bodybuilding is. But I do believe that allowing like naturals to win pro cards in their own right has helped natural bodybuilding grow. So yeah, the landscape of natural bodybuilding now is fucking mental in comparison to what it was.
Yeah,
and with what you were saying there, I think there being more federations and more money, and it's competition in the market, isn't it? Because they're trying to one up each other to try and get the athletes to kind of go and do that show. It's only going to be better for the athletes because the federations are now competing. Because there's so much choice, they need to up their game to attract the athletes to come to their shows to then make a show.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking mental the last few years. Just, I think the most impressive thing is just the caliber of athletes. Like the last 3 years, is just jumped up, and just the next 3 are just getting a bit silly, really, which is, it's just great to see. Like, it is amazing to see, to be honest.
Yeah, in 2021, I competed at the UK and FBA British Finals, and they did a pro show, right? Pro show, all classes. They did a pro show. But it weren't like a bodybuilding class, men's physique, bikini figure. It was people with pro cards all stood on the line together, right? So you had a men's physique guy, a bodybuilder, a bikini competitor, a figure competitor. Yeah, and they gave everyone a first place. It was the most fucking bizarre thing. So to go from that to having the NBA International last year and a supernatural show with multiple pro classes, like, wow. I never thought this was possible. But it's just happened because, you know, you've got a lot of decent personalities within the natural bodybuilding space that are quite inspirational and aspirational. And then, you know, that's allowed the whole to just grow.
Yeah. The thing is as well, like, I was actually talking to someone about this today when I was in the gym. Like, the teenagers going to the gym now is the normal. Like, whereas when I started the gym, I remember there was literally 2 of us in the year group that would train. Whereas now, like, if you're not training at that age, you are the one that's, you know, different, right? So there's so much people getting into the sport at a young age with so much information that they're doing everything perfectly at the time where they can grow most, and that's why we're just seeing so many freaks come through like that are so young, and it is really good. It is very exciting. Right, what I would do...
Sorry,
carry on, mate, go on.
Me and Tom were saying yesterday while we were recording our podcast, like the amount of like juniors and teens that there are now, it's mental. The PCA show at the weekend, there are 2 high classes for junior bodybuilding.
Yeah,
that's unheard of. I've never seen that before.
and a lot of the time the junior standard is like not far off like the open, to be honest. Like it's just, it is getting
the top 3 in each junior class placed top 3 would have placed top 3 in the open.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, it is actually crazy where it's going to go. Like every year is a big jump up, and it's almost just getting laughable, to be honest. You see some of these guys come on stage and like actually have a giggle, which is exciting.
So it's like, you know, when you see shit like that, then it's like, what is natural limit? Like, how far can we take it?
100%, mate. Fucking crazy. Absolutely crazy. Patrick, you're back.
I'm back. Finally. Hope I didn't miss too much.
Patrick, have you got enhanced now?
I have indeed, yes.
How's that transition?
Honestly, it's been for me, it's been quite smooth. Obviously, I came back from an injury, so going from taking that time off to recover before getting back into the swing of things with training was a bit slow at start. But right now, I'm like in a very good place where training is progressing. Like, I don't think it's made any major difference into my lifestyle because I'm so used to living and breathing the bodybuilding lifestyle outside of work. So it's just kind of just basically what I'm doing with a little bit extra push, really.
And you grew a beard.
And I grew a beard. And I grew a beard. So, but yeah, so far it's been good. It's been a very smooth sailing journey so far.
Good stuff.
You got any more questions, Patrick?
I mean, I'm sure you've probably got like this question. You've been asked this many times before, but is that something you ever considered or?
I have spoke about my enhanced journey online before. When I was 16, I was training at a big bodybuilding gym in Rotherham, and I remember like I just bought creatine for the first time, and the lad that was training there was an IFBB pro, but like IFBB pro when you had to win the British your pro card, and it was like, what supplements are you taking? I was like, mate, don't tell my dad, but I started taking creatine, and he was like, why the fuck are you taking creatine? I was like, I've read about it online. Apparently, it's like, you know, like the secret to size. Like, no, it's not. You need to take this. I was like, what is it? He went, it's called D-ball. I was like, all right, cool. Well, what is it? He went, well, it's cheaper. It's as cheap as creatine. And you just basically take 6 tablets in the morning, 6 at night, and you'll get cubed. I was like, thanks, mate. That's amazing. How much is it? Like, yeah, 15 quid, whatever. Got home. Oh, on the way home on the bus, I googled what D-ball was, and it's like Reddit feed came up, and it was like talking about things that potentially kill disease. You know, the kid aesthetic side. Yeah. And I saw D-ball on it, and I was like going down this bloody rabbit hole of like, what the fuck is this D-ball? And I was thinking, like, I've got like a class A drug that's going to kill me in my bike. So I got home from the gym, like went into the toilet, poured it down the toilet, and then like hid the tub for years and years and years. I think I only got rid of it like 4 years ago. But it's like the maddest thing. Like if I'd have took that, I would have like lost my ATI card, and like this whole journey that I've been on wouldn't have happened. But yeah, that's how close I went to going enhanced, and I would have fucking done it.
Sometimes it's as easy as that, though, isn't it? Like, actually, is just being naive, and I know multiple people that have just been naive, done it, and then they kind of are like, "Fuck it, I'm in it now."
Yeah, me and my little brother were talking this morning about peptides.
Yeah.
He was like, "What the hell's a peptide?" I was like, "You know what, mate? I don't really know." But I think the most confusing thing is like you can buy protein that's like protein peptides, or you can get like shampoo peptides. And then it's
Peptides
PPC peptides. Like, right, well, which one's going to get you banned? Because if I'm like using shampoo that's got peptides in, like, is that going to take my card off me, or like, what's the crack here?
So the thing is, peptides is just another word for protein. It's the scientific word for amino acid. So yeah, if you're having whey protein, technically you are having peptides, but again, it's the injectable kinds that people are using, and that's where, as you said, people get really confused because they go into the shop and, oh my god, this shampoo's got peptides in it. I read somewhere that causes cancer or whatever it is, and it's just like, yeah, trying to explain it to someone.
On that note, what is your boy's opinion of like injectable L-carnitine? Like for me, if you have to inject something, that is just not natural bodybuilding anymore. I know technically it's classified as that, but like that one draws the line for me.
Yeah. I've never used it. I've never told someone to use it. I will never tell someone to use it. You don't need it.
No.
And again, it's one of those things like you're trying to, if you're wanting to do that stuff, like anything injectable, we've got a whole sport that lets you do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
So go over there and you can take anything you want. Like, why try and push the boundaries? Like, natural bodybuilding is meant to be like
Clean.
Yeah, like anything, to me, anything that's injectable, again, medical reasons, blah blah blah, like, again, there's a kind of a gray area, and it's one of the reasons why I'd never want to be in charge of like a federation. But it's, yeah, it's one of those things. It seems to be almost defeating the purpose. So like when I was in prep, there's a guy at the gym that's like enhanced, and I was telling him I was in prep. Obviously, he says I'm looking really good, and he was like, "Why didn't you take some HGH? Because that doesn't show up on a blood test." And I was like, because I don't want to. Like, I compete in that. Yeah, but then you could win. It's like, but then I'd be cheating. Like, you're kind of, if you win and you've done that, do you really get that same sense of achievement that I've essentially cheated?
How many people that don't care though? Like genuinely, so many people don't actually give a fuck, which is crazy because you know your own mindset and you know your own kind of values of what genuinely, when you're sitting on your own, you know what's going to bring you fulfillment. But some people don't give a fuck, man, and it's because you know people are doing it for the hype, like, and unfortunately a lot of people do bodybuilding for that reason, and that's when I think people end up hating the sport, because you are just doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, it will never bring you enough fulfillment if you're doing it for someone else.
Yeah,
I think that's what also brings like a little kind of like whole, you know, the divide between the IVB route for natural bodybuilding, that where it's only you're allowed to compete in the league if you're free natural. Whereas, like, I would always say, if you're going to do a natural show, you have to be lifetime natural. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it at all. It's not really fair on anyone else in that class.
That's a can of worms, that topic, huh?
Yeah, big time.
Isn't it?
Big time.
Or you know Meg, Cuba's missus.
Right.
I was joking with her yesterday. She's been natty essentially like the last year. And I said, "Oh, like you're only 12 months away from like being two bros, you know, NPC natural." And she was like, "You are joking." I know, it's fucking disgusting, isn't it?
It's just
Imagine that.
That's crazy.
Meg's like fucking Olympian, right? Push the envelope and fucking gonna be like natty certified in 12 months' time. Crazy.
Fuck it, let's get on the natty stage, man. Come on, cause some chaos.
Yeah. Fuck.
Right, Josh, I had some funny questions that I want to ask.
Is it
And
Rosh?
bearing in mind, I've only just opened this to look at it. Right, we'll start with one serious one, and I think this, I can imagine this being actually pretty good. So, what's your biggest pet peeve in the industry? What do you absolutely just hate the most?
Oh, changes week to week depending on who I talk to. I think this week it's people having such strong negative opinions of people that they don't know. I feel like people see shit on Instagram, or like they get a vibe based off of like someone's clients or whatever, and they're just like, yeah, that person's a dickhead. It's like, no, come on, mate. I feel like, yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve at the minute. Keep getting told like, oh, such and such doesn't like you. I'm like, I don't even know who they are. How can they not like me?
I think that's
a
good lesson for a lot of people though, because I've definitely been there and done it, and I definitely try to challenge myself more now. That like a lot of times when people just got a lot going for them, like naturally you will, and it's a problem with yourself, like you will feel like sometimes you want to think, oh, I bet that guy's a bit of a prick. And then you talk to them and they're actually sound, and you think, why the fuck did I have that like even thought? Like I think it's human nature, but you have to just challenge yourself to give everyone fair opportunity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I just find it bizarre, like, you know, when it's other coaches, I'm like, bro, you know how competitive and how tough coaching is. Why would you like then go and slate another coach? Like, it's just so pathetic. Blows my mind. But yeah, that's this week's pet peeve. What's everyone else's?
Oh,
I think it's along a similar line of the rage bait content, like stuff where people are putting stuff out on purpose to make people angry because they know the algorithm likes it. And it's like, and then if you ever met that person in person, they're probably timid and they would never say fucking boo to a ghost. But they put out this content, the controversial content, and it's like, ugh, just, yeah, that it annoys me so much.
Yeah. I think mine is literally just people having such a black and white opinion in bodybuilding, like there's yes and no. And it's absolutely right for you to have your opinion and your reasons why. But like there's every example of bodybuilding, and there's ways that I personally don't agree with and I can't understand why, but have built amazing physiques and done amazing stuff. So like it's not that black and white. Like it's not that black and white. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and some people are just like can't open their mind to it, and that's what frustrates me. Like there's stuff that I don't agree with, right? But who am I to tell someone who's twice as good as me who's doing something that I think doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
I think mine currently is the amount of people that see vaping at bodybuilding shows. It's actually
that's a good one. That's going to annoy a lot of people.
Ridiculous the amount of people that see vaping at the bodybuilding shows nowadays. Literally every corner you turn, someone is vaping. I'm just like, when did this become like a whole trend of like vaping like everywhere? Like even athletes going backstage or like coaches, yeah. I'm like, bro, what? You're about to get on stage. What the hell are you doing? Like, I do not get that. What's going on with that?
Accessory, isn't it?
So bad.
People are just doing it like just to look cool.
Yeah. Like, what? Surely that can't be healthy for you. But that's why I can't stand at the moment. I keep on seeing everywhere. Every show I've been to this year, it's just every other person is vaping.
I think so people get addicted to it, though, don't they? Like, especially when on prep, because you're trying to get a quick dopamine hit. You know, and it is that, and then people find it so hard to come away from it, right? Slippery slope. Right, Josh. I don't think I can answer this, otherwise I think I'll end up being a single man. But worst night out experience. So I suppose it depends how you answer it, but yeah.
Worst night out experience. Define worst. I think even the worst nights out have a fucking good story attached to them. I've not been on a bad night out for a while. Worst night out experience. I got bottled.
Huh?
Yeah. Not recently. This is like 12 years ago. But two of my mates were having a fight with two other people. And I like got in the middle of it to like separate it. And then someone twatted me on the top of their head, like there. And I've still got a lump from it. Like it full on like sparked me out. I was gone, but that was a bad time. That was a bad night out.
I remember hearing one of your stories from one of your podcasts about you and your mate. You end up at your mate's house or something like that. After a night out, I think it was like the gayest thing you've done ever or something like that. Do you want to share that story with the rest of us?
Oh God, no! Hang on. Was this after a night out? What with my sleepwalking?
Yeah, the sleepwalking one. That's the one.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Packs out in me. Yes, I may have tried to sexually. I don't know. Please, one of my friends in his sleep. Only kissing, like it weren't anything deep, but yeah. Cheers, Pat. Thanks for that, mate.
No, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome. I think that's a great story, man. That's fucking out when I heard it.
Yeah.
Bad time.
Right.
Speaking of relationships, actually, I had a question in regards to that. They sent it to me directly just because they couldn't fit in the box, and basically they want to know how do you navigate your relationship while specifically on prep? Any advice at all?
Gentlemen, take it away.
Hang on,
it is difficult ultimately, but what I found is each time that I've done a prep, my wife gets more used to how much of an arsehole I can be and calls me out on it. And it's just about having that open communication and essentially understanding that you're choosing to do a prep, they're not. So ultimately, it's your responsibility to manage your mood and your emotions, which is going to be harder, and it's going to take a hell of a lot more active thought about how you are actually being with the people that you care about, because naturally you are going to be grumpy, you are going to be moody, but you can control that. That is within your control. So yeah, just make sure you communicate, that they understand what's going on, and try to be as small of an arsehole as you can.
Nice.
I think it's just being self-aware, but also realizing no matter how hard you try, like towards the end, you're not going to be your best version, and that absolutely will always have an impact, and that is the reality of it. So they need to be aware of that. You need to be aware of it, and just realize that in relationships, there's times where, you know, there will be push and pull, and as long as you're right with that, then, you know, it's what it is, right?
Yeah, great.
Right, I know we're coming up to an hour, Josh, so we won't keep you too long. Has anyone got any really good questions that you want to answer? I've got one more that I need to get out, which is from Rosh Thomas, and he's saying, "Can Crogdog stop avoiding my questions, please? I put a lot of effort into them." So he's called you out, mate.
Rosh, I'm not sure if you've realised, mate, but me and Tom have got some sponsorships that we don't want to lose. And people in the past have screen recorded and sent screen recordings to our sponsors, so we don't really want to lose them. So just saying.
That's a pretty fair point.
Keep it PG-13, yeah.
Mate, some of Rosh's questions are diabolical. Criminal. I'm not fucking answering them. I'm not even saying the questions on the podcast. I don't want those words leaving my mouth whilst the podcast is on record.
I've known Rosh for years, yeah. And I remember hearing some questions on the podcast, or on someone's podcast, I can't actually remember who it is, and I actually was like, who the fuck is asking that? Like, what the fuck? And then like months later, I found out it was him, and I was like, Rosh, why the fuck are you asking that? Like, that's not even funny. They're actually going to think you're fucked. I was literally like, you can't, like, there's funny ones, mate, but that's actually like really weird, mate. Like,
yeah. Do you know what's like the weirdest thing now? It's like, you know, Ian Talbot Balfe. Can you remember Ian?
Yeah.
Shout out Ian. Great guy. Right? He used to ask the most unhinged questions, and then like I've met him and got to know him, and it's like it's a completely different person. So it's like having met Rosh now like multiple times. I just don't think that his brain's capable of going to the places that it goes to.
Yeah.
I'm scared to ask these questions, man. I want to know what he's asking you, though.
You sometimes sends them, and I just don't actually ask them because I just think I can't fucking say that. But maybe I need to.
Say it. Just say it.
Say the controversial stuff. We're not big enough to have sponsors to lose, so
yeah, we got nothing to lose. We got some shitty podcasts. You might as well just fucking go all out.
When it goes super viral and we get loads of like views because it's gone super viral, then it's absolutely fine. Then we can start ignoring them.
Nice.
Right, boys. Has anyone got any good ones to finish off on? And then we'll call it a day.
No, I just want to know, what is your plans for the rest of the year? When you
Rest of this year,
I've
got like another 15 people competing, 14 or 15 people competing between now and November. So it's just going to be focusing on them. I'll continue to do my thing training wise. I think at the minute I'm provisionally looking at doing shows like May, June, July time next year. Just because that's going to be like more quiet time on a coaching front. And plus, like, I've only ever competed September, October, November. So I quite like the idea of dieting took summer and then having a summer of being like shredded. I think that would be quite a nice vibe. Whereas like every time I finished prep recently, or like every time that I've ever finished prep, it's been fucking freezing. So I've never enjoyed it really. So yeah, I think next year I just want to like flip things up a little bit and change the time that I step on stage.
Nice. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you on stage, big dog.
Not taking a big gap then. Not taking a big gap really. Like what would that be?
It'd be like 18 months. Yeah. My issue last year wasn't size, it was everything external to bodybuilding. So I think my stress was that high that I couldn't get leaner because honestly, fucking life was just shit. But next year it'll be different, I'm certain of it. So yeah, it will lead to a better end product.
Look forward to seeing that, dude.
Makes sense. Did you have any good ones?
No, I never get any questions. My audience is not engaged.
Cool. Right, lads. Josh, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Honestly, I think some of the answers are actually really good and some real good value from people. And as always, boys, thank you again. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks, lads. See you on the next one.
Yeah. Okay.
See you later, guys.
Hey, guys.